Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. In this tutorial, we're going to add some cute purple heart motifs to our dress. First, I'll pick our starting color and select the Heart 7C brush from my Procreate Studio Vault library. As usual, let's name this layer 1 Heart 7C. I'll start by applying the heart pattern on the bodice. Since the bodice and skirt are on separate layers, I'll create a new layer just above the skirt base. I'll simply copy the layer name to the skirt layer and apply the pattern again. Next, let's move on to shading the dress. I'll start with the skirt, so I'll add another layer for that. I'll choose a shadow color and switch to my Moda For All Shading brush. I'll set the size to 5% and name this layer 2. The shading technique is similar to what we used in the last dress video. I'll add shadows behind the wrist part of the skirt, what I'm calling the skirt cone. This time, I'll also add some shadow along the hem to show that the skirt has a bit of thickness. Then I'll add shading on the wrong side of the fabric to make the difference between the right and wrong side stand out. Since the cone areas catch more light, I'll softly add just a thin shadow there. Here you'll see the deeper shadows fall right behind the skirt cones. Now I want to clean up the line drawings on the skirt. These lines are on the skirt base layer, so I'll go to my line drawing only skirt layer, duplicate it, and move it right under the shading layer. Next, I'll open Hue Saturations of Brightness and turn the brightness bar all the way up to fade the lines out. I'll repeat this step for the line drawing only bodice layer, duplicate the layer, and place it underneath as well. We haven't shaded the bodice yet, so I'm going to add the shadows now. I'll make a new layer, call it 2, and use our second color. I'll hide the fashion figure in here so we can see the outfit clearly. Then add shading along the bodice lines. Once that's done, I'll go back to the line drawing layer and again turn up the brightness slider to hide the lines. Now switching back to the color 2 layer, I'll create another layer, pick a darker tone, and add more shadow to the dress. This layer will be called 3. I'll deepen the shadows over the line walk, especially under the bust. And blend out the color in the remaining areas. I guess there's too much shading on the waistband, so let's just use the eraser tool to lighten it up. I'll remove a bit from the color 2 layer as well. Then add the shading back in as needed. Next, I'll move to the scarf layer and use color 3 to strengthen the shadows. I'll deepen the shadows behind the scarf combs, leaving the combs themselves untouched. I'll add a bit more shading along the hem to enhance the scarf's thickness. And apply some on the wrong side of the fabric, just like we did with color 2. For the back layer of the skirt, let's add more shading with the same color, naming this layer 3 as well. I'll apply the color with more pressure to really darken the area. I'll adjust the bodice shading for a finer touch. Now I'll turn the fashion figure back on to check the overall look. I think the skirt looks too bright over here, so let's add another layer. I'll pick the darkest color, color 3, and drop in some extra shading. For finishing touches, I'll erase the shadow over the waistband. You'll find the brushes and color palette links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.